Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. Today's going to be massive. This is a really full-on app, and we're not going to get through it all today. Trust me on that. So I hope you're doing well. This is season 3 of the show. As you can see, we have slightly new stuff going on here, just to kind of like, I don't know, suit what's going on with me and shit. But that's another thing. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Jade. I'm a musician. I have a website called jadestar.com.au. You can find it quite easily just by doing this, by going to jadestar.com.au or How to App on iOS, and you can find all of my music, all of my videos, and you can actually find How to App on iOS and catch the live streams here every day and all of my playlists and all that stuff. So there's that shilling out the way. If you're on Facebook, good to see you. Leave some comments because we get to see them over here on YouTube. If you feel like you're missing out over there on Facebook, you're a bit alone, come over to YouTube because it's fun over here. Oh yeah. So let's just jump straight into it today because there's a lot to cover. So what is AUM? AUM is complicated. It's like a really fucked up relationship, but good. Why good? Because it's a door. It's a I don't know what I actually think of it more so as, think about those analog effects racks that you would see in a studio. This is a virtual effects rack. That's what it is. It sits there virtually on your iPad or your iPhone, and it connects all of your inter-app audio, all of your AUV3 plugins. It connects all of the apps that can play music. It connects apps that your interfaces that you've got connected, your MIDI controllers, and you can route them all throughout your entire device. It's like a cabinet of ideas. It's really cool. And I'm going to try and go as slow as I can for those who may have looked at it before, like when I first looked at it and found it incredibly complicated, but it's not. Like with most things, it's in your head, man. And if you just play around with it, because that is the thing. And it's got a price tag on it too. So I'm pretty sure in Australian dollars, it's like around $14 or something like that. So it comes at a cost, but it's definitely one of those things that once you've got it installed and you understand how it works, it's limitless what you can do with it. So let's open it up and let's just jump straight in and see what it's all about. So here we are, full screen. We'll open it up, and this is what you're presented with straight away. It looks pretty boring, I know. You just got this square in the middle with a plus sign. Let's move my cursor around and show you a few things. Some things that'll jog your memory of things that you've seen before. So up in the top left-hand corner, we have a BPM. So you can see there's 120 BPM sitting up there. And when I click on that, it drops down and gives me the option to move the BPM. You've got a click track there. You can turn this on. You can tap. These are things that we're used to across all sorts of apps and doors on PCs, laptops, and iOS. All right. So nothing groundbreaking over there. And right next to that, look at that. We've got a transport. So you've got a record button, a play, and a back button. Pretty basic stuff there straight away. Okay. So it's $30 Australian. Wow. See, I've owned this for a long time, right? I haven't had to look at the price. So thanks, Pete, for putting that in there. It comes at a cost, all right? But really amazing things come at a cost, and it just is what it is. So let's go over here, and this little section here, it says DSP 0, and you've got your battery sitting up there as well. What this is, it tells you how much of your iPad is being used, how much of the memory is being used, and how much room you've got till shit starts crashing and getting digital artifacts if you're putting in too many AUV3 plugins. So this is like your little warning light on the Millennium Falcon that goes off when you're flying into an asteroid storm, okay? So definitely something to pay attention to. It's there to help you so you don't get frustrated. Over here, we're going to cover these shortly. All right, so the end one Of course, this is like your basic options. So you've got down here in the bottom your settings. Pretty standard stuff here as well if you've owned any kind of app with sample rates, buffer size, latency, input gain levels, quality, bit depth, so you can change the bit depth, 24-bit, all of that kind of stuff. Yes, Russ, you can hang your dice on it. It's that good. So pretty basic stuff there in the settings. We're going to cover the rest of this stuff, but let's just cover this middle line here because this is really cool. You've got a little notes app here, so you can add notes to sessions. All right, so if you want to remember things that you've set up, there's a little notes app there. We'll go into that a little bit later. You've got an about, tells you not much there. It's just an about section. And you've got, this is really handy, you've got a user guide. So if you ever fall into trouble, and look, it's a comprehensive user guide. And you know, if you've been a fan of my show before, I love an app that has a bloody user guide built into it. Bloody good shit. Right, so we've covered that. We'll get back to the menu a little bit later. And this little squiggly bit up here, this reverse snake kind of thing, you'll get to see that a little bit more. So what are the other two things down the bottom here? Clearly, I think we all know what this is. It's a keyboard. It's a virtual keyboard. Okay. So if you don't have a MIDI controller, you've got a virtual keyboard built into this, and you have across here, once it's opened, you've got a couple of options here. So this infinity little symbol here, and give you one guess what that is. If you click that down and then hold a key down, it stays held. So it's a sustain. So you can keep clicking as many keys as you want, and that is going to sustain until you turn off that infinity button. Now over here, you've got this little arrow button. So basically how that works is when you hold down a key and then move your finger, you can move the keyboard around. All right. So if you've used GarageBand in the past, you'll know there's a section that you can, a little button you can select to actually move your keyboard up and down. And when that's not clicked, you just get to play the keyboard. Now there's no sounds coming through it because I've added nothing. And the little spanner up there, we're going to cover that. And also here, you'll see a little bookmark section. Now I'll tell you briefly what that's about, because as you build up tracks in AUM, you just say you've got about 10 tracks, they fill up the screen, and what you can do is you can actually set a bookmark, say at the 10th track. So whenever you click the bookmark, it'll instantly take you down the end of the line. So it's like a skip to kind of track, but we'll go through that as well. Let's look at the big plus button, because what does that do? The big plus button is your key to everything. It opens, when you click on it, 3 options straight up. So you've got audio, whoops, disappeared. Audio, MIDI, and input. Firstly, we're going to be covering audio. So when you click audio, it opens a track like this. So this is what the whole main UI of this app looks like. These are your tracks. So think like a door, but everything's in this little single track. So you've got volume here by moving that up and down. Pretty basic stuff. And to bring things into this track, because as I said, it runs off either your interface, it runs off, you can run off a AUV3 plugin or an inter-app audio, or you could even import music from another app and have that playing. This little plus here, down below, the little one just hanging on, this is your effects rack. So you can have many of these. You can build them in. So to actually get more of them, whoops, what am I doing? Come back. To get more of them, you just double tap underneath and it adds a new one each time. And you can add anything from your list of effects that you have installed on your iPad. But let's start off with looking at maybe some guitar. Okay, so we'll go through some guitar, we'll go through some drums, and we'll go through some MIDI stuff today. We'll try and, we're already running low on time. So all you do is click on the big plus up here, and you get a list drop down. And as you'll see, hardware input, when I click on that, This shows my Steinberg UR22 Mark II. So it gives me the options to run the stereo channel and left or right. So that is your first channel and your second channel, left and right. So straight off the bat, you can just hook that in. Next off the bat, we have audio unit extensions, your AUV3 plugins. So when you click on that, you get everything that you've got installed on your iPad. And what makes it really cool too, if you pull down, you get a search feature. So you can just type in the first letter of anything and you can find what AUV3 plugin you are looking for. Underneath that are inter-app audio. Remember, Apple are apparently phasing this out soon. Okay, so, but you can still use it. And remember, just because more and more people are using AUV3 plugins with AUM, it kind of makes inter-app audio much more relevant than what it is, say, just using in GarageBand. You can really do some amazing stuff. So once again, you pull down, you can search by a first letter, and you can find these, whatever you want. And it pulls in every single thing that you've got in here, okay? Also, Audiobus. So Audiobus is an app that is very similar to this. It's pretty damn similar, okay? But this seems to be more popular amongst people who are making electronic music. You'll see it all over YouTube, people using this app to make electronic music. Okay, so this seems to be much more popular than Audiobus, but it's actually got built into it the option to use Audiobus and actually pull in from Audiobus. So that's really cool. We're not really going to be looking at that. Excuse me. I'm not going to be looking at that today. You've also got the ability to import from a file player. So if I click that, you'll see at the top it says tap to load here. And what it does is it brings up this screen here. And up the very top, you'll see tap to load a file. So if I click on this button, it automatically takes me to AudioShare. So hopefully you are using AudioShare because it is a fantastic app. And you can just pull audio straight in. So I can grab my latest single. It's over. Where are we? Here it is. Final mastered wave. I click on that. It's now pulled the wave file into this section up here. How do I play it? Well, you've got this, your transport button up here. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's all right. I don't want to get a copyright strike today. Oh, a copyright claim today. Let's go back. How did I grab the wrong one? It's over. Here we go. It's this one. So same thing. I can go back to the start, hit play. So you can import any kind of file in here as well. Awesome stuff. Hit stop. Good. Now, I'm just going to remove that. So to delete something, all right, you can see it's still sitting up there. All I do is grab my mouse. I'm going to hold it down and move it across, slide it to the left, and you'll see a little eject button. We all know this thing from the old VCRs and the eject button. Click that, it's gone. You can replace it. What else do we have in here? So there are mix buses. We're going to go probably into this a little bit deeper in another show because there's a lot to cover. So let's bring in let's just start with a inter-app audio, okay? So because we're going to look at some guitar. So let's bring in something like Bias Effects 2. So Bias Effects 2 is a guitar effects app. Ooh, listen to that. That's because my guitar should be plugged in. Let's make sure. Oh, it's because I've got a mic turned on. So let's do this. I'm going to grab my guitar. Yeah. And what I haven't done yet, because I've jumped in so much, tried to get this done. I haven't said hello to you all. So g'day Gary, Scott, Russ, Stu, Andy, Clearly Epic, Tom Rochelle. Who else have we got? Scrolling down, Thomas Gallane, good to see you. Lady Rodeline, welcome as well. I said Russ already. God, I've missed so much because I'm just trying to get so much done today with this. Timothy, good to see you. Who else? Scrolling fast. Yes. I think that's SM Borthwick, welcome along too. Frederick King, good to see you as well. So welcome along everybody. Good to see you all today. Had to get that out of the way. That's really rude of me. So, gonna put on my guitar here. Just unplug this and plug in my guitar. One sec. Cool. We've got guitar. So I'm going to chuck on some distortion. So now that it's sitting up here, okay, now that you can see the app sitting in there, just bring my mouse up there. When I click on it, because it's an inter-app audio, remember, it now opens it up in another, in its actual app, okay? So let's pick a sound for here. I'm going to chuck on this Enter Sandman sound. And why do I have no sound? I don't know why that is. Oh, it's because I've got the volume down. There we go. Cool. It's probably out of tune. I don't know why my sound's so shit today. Let's go back now to AUM. Cool, so we've got some sound there, but actually let's do this again. Now this is how easy just to get rid of this track. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab it, move it across, and get rid of it. Let's do it this way instead. I'm gonna pick the hardware input, and let's pick, we'll just do stereo for this. So I've got sound coming through, and now I'm gonna look at these effects racks. Let's look at these. So down the side here, you've got these effects. Instead, I'm going to put bias effects in here. So we'll go to Inter-App Audio, and you get all of the same options. So let's just throw this in first, and then we'll cover what you get. Inter-App Audio, bias effects 2. Cool, so we've got sound coming through here. Nice and easy to add an effect on there, but I don't know, I want to add something else to it. So you can actually click on another effect, and let's try an audio app extension. Scroll down, so we've got a reverb in here. We can throw this on. Now each of these things, once they're installed, now because this is an inter-app audio, the difference, think about, sorry, I'll slow down. Think about this. When it's an inter-app audio app and you click on it, it opens the entire app outside of AUM. Okay, so be aware of that. Let's go back to AUM. When it's an AUV3 plugin and you click on it, it opens up within AUM, and you can change the size. You can move this around. So this is an effect here, and it's a reverb. So now, what else can you add as an effect? So you can see in here we've got an inter-app audio, we've got an AUV3 plugin, but what is also built into this, if you have a look here, you've got some actual effects built in AUM. So you've got stereo processing, so you've got balance, stereo to mono, stereo panning, so you've got invert phase, you've got a whole bunch of effects already built in. You've got filtering and EQ, so high shelf, low shelf filters, paramedic EQ, all of this kind of stuff. You've got dynamics, so you've got a built-in compressor, you've got a peak limiter, you've got saturation, you've got gain, so there's heaps of stuff here. We'll cover the last bottom stuff in a later video because there's a lot of shit in this app. But for now, what can we do? What else can we add in here? We'll just leave it as is for now, okay? So let's try this. I want to add another guitar track. I want to do something completely different. So I'm going to open a brand new plus sign here. So now here is our second track. I'm going to hit hardware input and I'm going to click my audio interface again. And this time in the effects section, I'm going to look for an inter-app audio. And this is an app many of you may know about called Roxin. This is a guitar synthesizer. So just for now, I'm going to turn down the first guitar, and we're just going to have this track on. Now once again, because this is an inter-app audio, when I click on this little rocks in button here, it opens up the full app. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I have a sound pre-saved here in my favorites, this mega guitar lead, so we're going to choose that. Sick. Now, with some inter-app audio apps, when you choose them within AUM, you'll see this little button appears here. So a little transporter, okay? So you can actually get back to the app just by clicking on the little logo to get back to AUM, okay? So Thomas Glenn says you can also mute solo tracks. Yep, definitely. I'm going to get to all of that. So what am I trying to do here with these two tracks? I have this synthesizer going on and I've got distortion going on. We'll try and even out the sound a bit. Now at any time you can remove these effects just by flicking them to the side. So if I grab this reverb over here on the first track and just move it to the side, that's now gone. So, and as Thomas pointed out, so I will show you here, you've got a mute and solo on each of these tracks down the bottom. So we'll just solo this one for now. There you go. So a little solo button comes up. And as you can see, God, I really should have tuned this guitar. Fuck. Cool. And you can bring that effect straight back in anytime. And now just flicking it across. And I can turn off that solo just by clicking it, and now both the tracks are back in. But let's try something else. So, and you can, remember, you can keep building these on and on. Now, I'm going to show you something very quickly, what else you can do, but it's something else we'll cover much further just for guitar here. So how do you incorporate something like this quickly into GarageBand? So let's do that. Let's just do it nice and quickly. Open up GarageBand. We'll start a new track. So you'll see here, I've got a brand new project here in GarageBand. I'm going to go to Inter-App Audio, and you'll see at the top here, AUM port 1, right? I'm going to click on that. And now it brings me back to AUM. Now down the bottom here, these little buttons here, this is where the sound is going out, okay? So this is going out through the USB. So I'm going to click on that, and you get a whole lot of options here to actually send the out to another app. So you could send this to Cubasis, Audio Pro. You could send this to GarageBand. There's a small problem with GarageBand. We'll cover it in a second. So the second link down is for Inter-App Audio and Audiobus output. When I click on that, you'll see it's already hooked up this GarageBand output 1. I click on that. I'm going to do the same thing over here with this second track. And now this is connected to GarageBand. So really, if I want to record right now, and you'll see next to the GarageBand little section here, there's a little record button and a play and a back button. So in AUM, I can now control GarageBand at the same time. So let's just hit record. And hit stop. There we go. Now if I go over to GarageBand, and so all you do to get over to GarageBand is see the little logo where GarageBand is, just touch on that, and here we are. We're over in GarageBand, and you'll see this has recorded. Okay, pretty damn easy, yeah? So let's close out of GarageBand, piss that off. We don't need it anymore right now. And now that I've closed GarageBand, look what's happened down here to these little dots. They have vanished, okay? So because the connection is no longer there for them to connect. So let's just start again. That's a bit of guitar, right? So now you've seen a little bit of guitar. You can add effects to each of them. Hopefully you've got a good understanding, and you can experiment with this and use whatever apps you want, whatever Interapp Audio, whatever AUV3 plugins, they're all there at your disposal. Now, how do you remove a track? So right down the bottom here, you'll see where it's connected to the Steinberg, this little section here. Click on that and it says basically remove channel. Goodbye. Goodbye. Now I'm going to put my guitar down. Okay, now this is the thing. So much time has gone already and I don't have much left. So we'll jump in to a keyboard. Alrighty, let's have a look at some MIDI. And this will be the last thing we'll cover of this. I'm going to most likely tomorrow cover a lot more of this. We'll do another show on this definitely tomorrow. So come back tomorrow for a little bit more, but we'll start off with a little taste of how you can use MIDI and your keyboard and connect everything up. So again, hit the plus button, hit audio, and here's your first track. Okie dokie. So let's add something like, for now, we'll add an audio unit extension, so an AUV3. Let's go down and add, for now, Synthmaster 1. So I'm not really adding anything for a specific reason. And now you'll see Synthmaster 1 is sitting there up the top in this little circle. Okay, so when I click on that, remember this is an AUV3 plugin. So when you open it in AUM, you get the interface. And you can change the size of it. You can shrink it. And you can move it around. You can have multiple of these running on your screen. So let's just grab a random sound on here. Now you see, when I'm pressing the keyboard down here at the bottom, nothing's happening. And I also have my keyboard here, my MIDI controller set up, and I'm getting no sound. What you have to do is you have to link these things up. So you have to connect them. Okay, so if you have a look over here, next to the icon of Synth 1, there's these three little lines. And when you click on that, here is everything that is available to you to actually connect everything up. All right. Now, it may look confusing to you, but everything makes sense. Okay. So we have, you'll see, let's start from the bottom. So you've got your Steinberg, you've got a network session, a keyboard, this is the actual virtual keyboard. And you'll see here's my Code 49 USB MIDI. So if I click on the MIDI, now all of a sudden we're getting sound. If I click on the keyboard, the virtual keyboard as well, and the little tick goes next to it, now I can play on here as well. Nice and easy. So it's just this little button up here right next to it. This brings up your options to be able to connect whatever you want to be connected to that specific app. Now let's go over here. I mentioned this little snake earlier on when we first started, this little reverse snake. So when I click on that, it gives you this screen here. And basically what this is a grid showing you basically the screen I just showed you next door to the app. All right. So you can actually go to this at any time, and you've got all these lines that connect. So over here, you'll see Synth Master 1 is what the synth that's connected. And when I checked the virtual keyboard and the my MIDI controller, they created a line down here. So let's get rid of them and delete them. So the way to connect them in this grid is you look for, here's the app. I want to add the virtual keyboard. You bring your mouse down or your finger, you click that box, and it connects them to, right? So it's nice and easy to do. So here's my MIDI controller. I bring this down to Synth Master 1. I connect that. Everything is connected. It is exactly, Russ. It's like battleships. Just think battleships, and you're ready to go, easy to go. So at any time you can get rid of this snake just by clicking up here, and it's gone. Another way to access the controls is, I mentioned this little spanner down here. There's your little spanner. So it's another way to actually access your keyboard, but this is for your virtual keyboard down here. Okay, so you've got plenty of ways to access these things. So here is your MIDI. Again, you can click on this app, nice and easy, flick through your sounds. Oops. Once again, remember you have your little icon here on the side, the little smaller one. So you can click on this to add. Again, not just, let me just do this. Let me just make sure this is, and there we are. So basically with this, you can add anything in here. You can add an audio app extension. You can add an inter-app audio. You can add the stereo processing, anything you like from there. So plenty of options. Now let's just throw on, for an example, audio unit extension. And what can we add in here? I mean, God, I've got so many things down here I can add. Let's add Velvet Machine. And again, you can open up Velvet Machine as well and play with that in here too. So let's just add this effect on Velvet Machine. And now you've got an effect on there as well. And remember, at any time, I can just flick away that effect to the left, and we're back to our keyboard. Okay, so, and if you want to add another effect, just double click. You can add as many effects as you want to this. And again, I can go in here now. Let's just add another keyboard sound. Why not? Because you can have multiple keyboard sounds happening at once. So let's grab something like audio unit extension. We can scroll down. Let's look for something else. Let's go for mood units. So now mood units is attached to the second track here. If I click on the little mood units button, I can pick a sound effect, anything. Pick a preset. I can move the screen around. I can now open this one as well. So you can change the size. You can have two of them running at the same time and see what's going on. So you can have have them all open at once if you're that way inclined. So let's just grab this effect. We'll close both of these out. We'll solo this for now. And as you can see, I went to press the keyboard and nothing happened again. So you've got to go up here to this little section next door to the actual new channel and the new app. And again, connect your MIDI keyboard. So now we've got this sound. Now if I unsolo this, we've got two sounds running at the same time. Pretty cool, yeah? I can bring in this effect back here again on synth. Now to wrap up for today, because I've only got a few minutes left before I'll have to finish, and we want to jump over to the premiere of the Indigo Sunset's new video clip, which is happening on their channel. I'm going to show you one thing here, and then we'll continue on with this tomorrow, because there's just so much to do with this app. What I'm now going to do is add a new channel, but this time I'm going to add a MIDI channel. Okay, and what this MIDI channel is going to do is it's going to connect to the second track, and it's going to control it. It's going to be, so it's basically I'm adding a sequencer. So if I hit the plus here and I hit audio unit extensions, I'm going to scroll down and grab let's use the collider. So this is the Rosetta collider. This is a suite of really cool little audio unit extensions. So we'll grab the collider. And when you open up the collider, it gives you this little wave table here with a bunch of dots moving around. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to have a few more of these dots. So this is like a Hadron collider, and I want these dots to start moving around. See how they're all moving around? And every time they touch the side of the wall, that will trigger the keyboard. All right, so you can see that's running. And the way I got that running, folks, okay, is starting play up here. So this is your transport to get it running. You'll see there it's stagnant. It's not doing anything. Now I run up here and press play, and this little collider starts moving around. So how do I get it to interact with this one over here? Really, really, really easy, okay? Basically, I'm just going to click on this little button here next to it, and I'm just going to hit the little Rosetta collider, and we're off. So now that's sequencing, and I can change the grid size over here. I can change the amount of hadrons. Now you can do this with any sequencer. You can control any of these keyboards, the sounds that you put in, these synthesizers, by adding a MIDI track and set up any kind of sequencing. You can set up arpeggio sequencing. You can do a whole lot of stuff. I thought I'd just give you a quick taste of this. And like, for example, I'll just turn this down for a second. With this particular sequencer, I can change the key here. Over here, you've got all your keys. I can go to chromatic. We'll go to an E. We can, pretty sure we can transpose as well. Where can we go up? I can't even remember how to do it. Oh, so we can change the pitch. So that's running there. And now over here on synth 1, I'll just show you on my webcam. Pretty fucking sick, yeah? So let your mind run free for a second there. Let's stop this playing. And as you see, I just hit the stop button up the top here. The sky's the limit with this thing. With all these great apps that we have, and all these AUV3 plugins, and all these amazing little sequences, and you can really add a lot of things. And tomorrow I'll go into a little bit deeper, and I'll show you how to like do this in a whole bunch of other apps like Cubasis, where you could have about 10, I think you can have up to 8 tracks in here, and you can push them through to Cubasis and hit play and record them all into 8 separate tracks. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with GarageBand. GarageBand only lets you do 1 track. Fuck GarageBand, man. I wish there's an option to do 8 tracks, but they only let you do 1 track. So Yeah, look, using it with a Korg Nano control mapped, I mean, yeah, the sky's the limit. Tomorrow we'll go into a little bit more detail on all this stuff, on how you can actually set up this MIDI section to actually set up triggers, to set up the knobs on your MIDI controller. To control, you can even finite change the MIDI to control the effects over here. So these effects, you can control a MIDI track, and you can control specific effects to become an arpeggiator. So you can arpeggiate the delay to come in and out. It's very deep, my friends. It's an incredible app, and I hope, just by me trying to keep it as simple and slow today as possible, you've got an understanding. But tomorrow we'll dive back in and we'll have a little bit of a look with drums, and we'll continue on with the synth, because coming up next, hopefully, look, can I do it now from here? Let's have a look. Do I actually have the link to the guy's channel? Let's jump over to my Facebook and grab the link. So if you're not linked up with the boys from the Indigo Sunsets, I'm just grabbing the link now. Where are we? Indigo Sunsets, there it is. I shall put this in the chat for you all, so you can jump over and watch this, because it's about to start very, very soon. Paste. There you go, that should have worked. So we're starting, I think, it's 10:15. Cool, so we got a little bit more time. All right, cool, but nice. Man, I'm panicking. All right, so let's look a little bit further into this. Maybe we can look at some drums as well. Cool. Thanks for reminding me, fellas. God, I thought the time had gone really, really quick. All right, where was I? What's going on? Okay. So, and look, as I said, you can add many more tracks to this. Let's have a look, for example. Just, I've got to get my bearings back together. We'll go back to a full screen here. Let's change this collider out here. Let's change this to, so again, you just swipe it over to the left and it's gone. Get rid of it very easily like that. Let's bring in, now, I can't talk about these Rosetta apps. This is like $14.99 Australia, and you get all of these amazing apps here. So it's actually really cool. So there's a Particles app in here. So this is a little sequencer as well. Pretty sure. So again, this is another little thing that has these little dots bouncing back and forward. So let's set this up to run with, we'll do this with Synthmaster this time. My cat's at the door crying. Can you hear it? What's up, Max? Oh no, he's gone now. So once again, I want to add this MIDI channel, this Particles effect, over onto Synth 1. So once I click that, so Particles is set now to a randomizer. If I open this back up, and I can change the speed of this as well. And we can jump back over to, what else can we add? We could even add, let's add in another track. Let's add in some drums, yeah? Let's just add in some drums just for fun. So I'm going to add another track, click Audio, click the top big circle, and let's go with Audio Unit Extension, and I'm going to look for, in fact, let's do this. Let's grab iSymphonic. So now we've got iSymphonic in here. Let's solo iSymphonic. Now once again, it's a brand new track, so we need to link it up. Oh, puss, really? So we have to link it up to my MIDI controller and the virtual keyboard. So nice and easy. And as you can see, remember I said at the start of this to pay attention to this little section up here, this DSP. So currently This iPad is running, it's taking up between 39 to 50% of resources going back and forward. So I've still got plenty of room to add heaps more tracks. And I'm running iSymphonic at the moment. And I can open up iSymphonic, nice and big. I can run through all the things that I have in here. So let's grab some symphonic strings. Close this out. And once again, I can set up this MIDI this MIDI 3 here. I can go over here and I can add this Rosetta Particles. And let's spice it up a bit with an effect. An AEV3. So we'll throw in a, oops. Throw in a reverb. I'm just overloading the system at the moment. So let's add another one just to overload the shit out of it. So let's add a inter-app audio this time. Let's see what we can find. Let's add in drum session. So now we've got drum session, and when I click on this, it takes me out of AUM, because remember, this is an inter-app audio. But as you can see, it's given me a little transport over here to bounce back nice and easily. So let's add some drums. I'm just being a dickhead now. Because I can add as many as I want, and as you can see, pretty damn cool, yeah? But now, again, you can fuck with all of this stuff. There's so many tracks you can add. So, you know, you can let your mind absolutely wander. I'm kind of a bit lost now since I thought I was going to wrap up the show. I had everything planned and I thought I got to the end and now I'm like, yay! Right. So, it sounds like an interesting dream. It sounds like the dream that would have happened if the election didn't go the way I wanted. That's what it sounds like to me. So, let's just get rid of all these tracks. We can start again. That's the beautiful part of this. So, again, I'm going to remove all these channels. Nice and easy to get rid of them all. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. All good. So, let's add some drums. Let's add a drum kit. Because you can actually add, not only can you add a MIDI controller in here, you can add anything that's MIDI, any kind of MIDI controller. So I have here my drum kit, so we'll do that. And let's do it this way by adding an audio unit extension, and we are going to go down here to Digisticks by 4 Pockets. Okie doke. So there is Digisticks. You can see it sitting up the top there, waiting to go. If we click on it, I need to turn on my drum kit. That would be a good idea. And I will select this user kit. So the kit is selected. Now I actually want to select my drum kit, and my drum kit is connected to my Steinberg. So it should be working now, hopefully. Let's see if I've done the right thing. Cool. So the drum kit is hooked up. Let me move my guitar over here. God, I've got so much shit going on. Bear with me a moment. I'll show you what's happening here. So I've got my drum kit sitting here, as you can see. Do we have good volume? I'll turn down my mic for a second. So that's all good to go. Nice and easy to set up because it's all running through the MIDI through my Steinberg. So also I can actually hook this up to, yeah, like my drum stool, it's my computer chair, because my keyboard is sitting on my drum stool right now. So I can actually hook up the my keyboard. So if I was the drummer from Def Leppard, I know I'd need another arm for that, wouldn't I? Poor taste, poor taste. What the hell? All right. Now what I'm going to do here. So let's go back to this screen here. We can get rid of the keyboard there. Just drop my sticks for a moment. So we've got a drum kit attached here. You can even do something like this now. So we've got the drums set up. I can go in. Let's set up this MIDI track again. Let's show you this before we clock out. So here is my MIDI track. Let's jump in and grab this randomizer again. So this sequencer. You can even sequence your drum kit. So that's, here we go. So let's just, we'll use the collider for now. And we'll hook up the collider here. Start it playing. So perfect for using any kind of drum setup that you have. You can use a drum sequencer. There's so many apps that are available right now, like the new, there's just so many, it's ridiculous. Let's just do something else for fun to wrap up, because I want to, we've only got a few minutes. So let's get rid of that. I want to show you one more thing, because this is really cool. Grab my guitar. There we go. Now I'm going to add my guitar. So I'm going to do what we did. Let's end how we started. So I'm going to add a new audio track. Go up here, hardware input. Let's add my guitar to here. And what I'm going to add as an effect is, let's go extensions. So if I do a search for MIDI, there we go, MIDI guitar. So, I don't know if anybody's seen MIDI guitar before. Hopefully I can get it working in here. I actually haven't used it in here before. So we want to use the keyboard, and let's maybe I can't actually get it going. Ah, that's for actually I haven't done this before, so I'm probably fucking this up. You know what? Let's save this till tomorrow, because I actually just got this earlier today and I'm running short, so I'm too excited. I'm too excited, man. I'm too excited. Calm down. Man, I love this app. I think this app is absolutely sick. And yes, MIDI Guitar 2 did get an update today, and I've been playing with it, so it's really fucking fun, man. It's really fun. So let's end it here. This is AUM. We'll jump back into it tomorrow. We'll look at some of the more features and how to like transport stuff over into Cubasis and things like that, and how to trigger a few things. Let's just jump over to the main screen. So as usual, thank you for viewing today. Come over and join me tomorrow, and I'll be a bit more relaxed because we've got the basic stuff out the way, and we'll dive into some more complicated things. I hope you got plenty out of today. Jump over to the Indigo Sunsets YouTube page now to check out the video clip. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. If you are watching on the replay, folks, do the usual stuff. Please subscribe. It makes me happy. It makes the algorithms like float to the top kind of thing. You'll see some buttons on here to subscribe. You can check out the website at www.howtoapponios.com or my website jadestarr.com.au. You can watch the playlist there of heaps of stuff. So all good. Hit thumbs up too. Make me happy, and I'll see you over at the Indigo Sunsets channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of this cool show. Adios amigos. Do what makes you happy. Oh, yeah.